আমাদের আদর্শ আলাদা, অভিজ্ঞতা আলাদা, দৃষ্টিভঙ্গিও আলাদা, কিন্তু তারপরেও আমরা একসাথে বসেছি, আলোচনা করছি, কারণ আমরা সবাই দেশের জন্য, দেশের মানুষের জন্য ভাবছি। আর এই ভিন্নতা নিয়ে একসাথে কথা বলছি, একের পর এক শুনছি, এটাই গণতন্ত্রের আসল সৌন্দর্য। আমার আগে যারা সম্মানিত প্যানেলিস্টরা কথা বলেছেন, তাদের সবাইকে আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাই। আপনারা অনেক কিছু বলেছেন, হয়তো বা আমিও বলে ফেলতেছি। আমাদের একটা মাইন্ডসেটে সিমিলারিটি আছে, আমার খুব ভালো লেগেছে শুনে। আমি আজ এখানে দাঁড়িয়েছি ভিন্ন এক অনুভূতি ও আবেগ নিয়ে। বাংলাদেশের এই পলিসি লেভেলটায় আমার প্রথম বক্তব্য এটা। আমি এমন কেউ নয় যার কাছে সব প্রশ্নের উত্তর আছে বা সব সমস্যার সমাধান জানা আছে। তবু আমি বিশ্বাস করি নিজের ছোট্ট জায়গা থেকেও সমাজের জন্য, দেশের জন্য কিছু করার আন্তরিকতা আমাদের সবার মধ্যে থাকা উচিত। আজ আমি এসেছি শুধু শুনতে, শিখতে এবং একসাথে কাজ করার মনোভাব নিয়ে এগিয়ে যেতে। Today's dialogue is about women shaping the nation. But before we speak about shaping the future, we must be honest about the everyday lives, reality shaping women's lives in Bangladesh. My earliest understanding of women's roles in society came from my family, as it does for most of us. Long before we encounter policies or laws or institutions, our homes become our first classrooms. They teach us what is possible, what is acceptable, and what is expected. In my home, certain things were never questioned. It was never questioned whether a woman could pursue an exemplary medical career while raising a family. It was never questioned whether a woman could build a nationwide social welfare organization on her own merit. It was never questioned whether a woman was fit to lead, to command authority in a room full of men. And it was never questioned whether the men in our lives would stand alongside the women in their lives as equals. My mother continued to excel professionally as a cardiologist in government hospitals, often in patriarchal settings, because she had encouragement and support at home to balance both career and family. In 1979, my Nanu, 𝗛𝘀𝗵𝘁 began using her own home to open a free elementary school for vulnerable and disadvantaged children. What began as a personal act of care grew into one of the earliest NGOs in Bangladesh, Shurubhi, creating meaningful and lasting change in young people's lives. The belief that women's dignity must be recognized both privately and publicly was also reflected in my grandparents' lives and leadership beyond our family. My grandfather, President Zaima Rahman, understood that development was incomplete if women were excluded. He saw women as capable contributors at home, at work, and in public life. And that belief carried into the choices he made as a leader. Under his leadership, the expansion of the garment sector meant millions of women entered formal work for the first time, gaining independence and income. The creation, then, of the Ministry of Women's Affairs reflected a conviction that improving the lives of women and girls required intention and structure. These were not just policy decisions, but they were an extension of the values that he lived by personally. That foundation was carried forward by my grandmother, 𝗛𝘀𝗵𝘁, who understood the transformative power of education that gave women voice, choice, and confidence. Under her leadership, girls' education was treated as a right, not a privilege. Free secondary schooling, alongside programs such as food for education, cash for education, helped to keep millions of girls in schools and change the course of families across the country. Her female secondary school assistance project achieved gender parity for the first time in secondary education and became a model replicated beyond Bangladesh.